Good day, subscribers. Canada has officially approved the launching of the very first Bitcoin ETF in the world. Now, this is a huge news, and in this video, we're going to talk about the specifics of this ETF, the pros and cons based on my perspective, and what it entails. Let's get into it. Canadian securities regulators have cleared the launch of the Purpose Bitcoin ETF, making it the first to gain regulatory approval in North America. This ETF will be the first in the world to invest directly in physically settled Bitcoin and not derivatives, allowing investors easy and efficient access to the emerging asset class of cryptocurrency without the associated risk of self-custody within a digital wallet. Similar to physically backed gold or silver products, this ETF will always be backed directly by physically settled Bitcoin holdings. For your reference, Purpose Investments, who is offering this ETF, is an asset management company with more than $10 billion in assets under management. The Purpose Bitcoin Fund seeks to replicate the performance of the price of Bitcoin minus fees and expenses, according to a fact sheet posted online by Canada-based asset management Purpose Investments. Keep in mind that this ETF will not speculate on short-term changes in the price of Bitcoin. While multiple close-ended Bitcoin funds have been listed on the Toronto Stock Exchange, such as the ones listed by Canadian investment manager 3iQ, they differ from an ETF. In the case of an ETF, units are issued on a continuous basis, while closed-ended funds, such as the ones offered by 3iQ, issue units only at their initial public offering and reopenings. What's interesting is that this isn't the first time Canada has beat the US in regulatory approval for ETFs. Canadians launched the very first ETF ever and also released marijuana-related funds prior to the US. Industry participants say this is a positive sign for firms hoping to offer their own ETFs on a US exchange. According to the fact sheet, the fund is targeting investors who are seeking long-term capital growth and an attractive risk-adjusted rate of return and who can tolerate high risk. As for this ETF's fees, the expenses are made up of management fees, operating expenses, and trading costs. The ETF unit's annual management fee is set to be at 1% of the class value. As this ETF is new, operating expenses and trading costs are not yet available. I did try to find this ETF on common brokerage firms here in Canada, including Questrade, Interactive Brokers, and Wealthsimple Trade. But for the time being, I noticed that they are not yet listed there, likely because this ETF has been just received the clearance to be launched. So stay tuned for that. From my perspective, there are some pros and cons to this ETF. First, in terms of some of the pros that I see with this Purpose Bitcoin ETF is the fact that when you compare the fee of about 1% to that of the operations fee that some of the cryptocurrency brokerage firms charge, there seems to be a more desirable fee there. For instance, when I'm comparing it to Wealthsimple cryptocurrency service, they charge a 1.5% operating fee that is covered through the spread between the buy and sell prices. Whereas as for this ETF, once it's actually fully launched, you're able to buy or sell at the price that you see for that ETF without having to worry about the spread in terms of the price. So that's one of the pros that I see there. In terms of some of the cons is the fact that aside from the matter of the fee, you would perhaps be able to essentially, with the service of a lot of these cryptocurrency brokerage firms, buy the crypto such as Bitcoin directly, and you don't really need to actually buy into ETF. So that's something that, in my opinion, maybe could be enhanced. The way that I do see personally it would be a lot more attractive is if this ETF, similar to many other exchange traded funds, had multiple holdings within it. So imagine if it gives you exposure to not only Bitcoin, but also multiple other cryptocurrencies in there, such as Dogecoin or Ethereum or other cryptocurrencies that are perhaps popular. And maybe if it was somehow managed over time, that to me would be a much more attractive exchange traded funds that I would like to perhaps get exposure to had it existed. In that way, then I know by investing in ETF, I'm actually getting exposure to multiple different cryptocurrencies rather than just going and buying the same cryptocurrency through a crypto broker firm such as Wealthsimple Crypto, CoinSquare, Coinbase, or you name it. That's how I see it. And now, whether if this ETF would actually evolve into such a thing or not remains to be seen. For the time being, according to fact sheet, as we saw, the focus is going to be on Bitcoin. Let me know what you think of Bitcoin ETF and the prospects for it. I would love to hear from you, so be sure to leave us a comment down below. If you found this video beneficial, please be sure to give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who might benefit from the video as well. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to Moementum channel. Here on Moementum, we post weekly various videos about stock market investing in cryptocurrencies, and various investment avenues, as well as financial freedom and financial education. With that, thank you so much guys for watching, and I hope to see you next time.